Welcome, my friends, to another edition of More Bad News, brought to you, as always, by Camel Cigarettes. Take the Camels Challenge, smoke Camels for 30 days, and see for yourself what a difference Camels can make in your life. And with the approach of the apocalypse, there is no better time to start smoking. It's the only way to actually experience what life was like when America was the greatest nation on the face of the earth. Yes, get into the swing of things with a pack of cigarettes a day and find out why more doctors smoked Camels than any other cigarette. Well, my friends, last week a listener tried to reassure me that my brain was just fine. I appreciate the thought and I understand our general discomfort with dementia, but I don't need the reassurance. My brain may be broken, but my ego is just fine. I've never doubted myself. I have two pictures of framed pictures in the bedroom of me when I was in my 20s. They were taken by a professional photographer who specialized in photos of young men. I ran through several hatha, yoga, and martial arts poses all in the nude. And there I am, just not an ounce of fat on me, And I may be older now and 25 pounds later, but I'm as gorgeous as I ever was. As the poet said, to know me is to love me. Regarding COVID, it is now 1 year since my infamous 14-minute course introduction, in which I tried my best to warn my students about the dangers of the ongoing pandemic. It's obvious that this is still a topic that is sensitive to the touch, and I wanted to thank those of you who commented last week, and I also wanted to add the comment that I got on my Facebook page. This is a good friend, uh, quote, they haven't been masking at the cancer center for a while now. I am on 2 immunosuppressive drugs, and some doctors, including my oncologist, asked me why I'm wearing a mask in a medical facility full of very high risk patients during COVID flu RSV season. I just had COVID, she said, for the first time, and Paxlovid left this taste of metallic vomit in my mouth 24/7. She said, I understand that COVID is less risky now with these medications, but we have serious compassion fatigue, and it's leading us to underestimate the risks of COVID and other diseases today. Also, the world is batshit crazy. And I noticed that NPR actually had a special update on COVID the other day. So there you have it, another unsatisfied customer. My friends, I used to hope that my teaching would result in students who were socially conscious and compassionate. I wanted, above all else, to get my students to think, often on the first day, so often for the first time, so that when students came into my classroom on the first day, they would walk into a darkened room. I would start by playing a performance of Sympathy for the Devil. And when the music ended, I would turn the lights on, launch into my commercial, and then explain my grading system based on the Calvinist doctrine of predestination. I told my students that their grades had no relationship to their effort, that it's all a matter of grace, that no one could earn an A in the class. And by the end of the class, I had them either exhilarated or terrified. My purpose was to confuse, because that would force them to ask the question, what was going on? Well, my friends, those days are over. In fact, most of our days are over. And thinking is no longer a great big advantage, I would just keep you busy or something, I don't know. So it's been another week of very bad news. The US is bombing the Houthis in Yemen, and that seems to be escalating all week long. Iran was bombing militant bases in Syria and Pakistan, and that's increasing. Pakistan, by the way, is a nuclear-armed state. Israel and Hezbollah are exchanging fire in Lebanon. And so there's fighting in Gaza, the West Bank, Lebanon, Syria, and Pakistan. Doesn't sound good. And Haaretz had this article last week that caught my eye. Netanyahu's government gets more delusional as Israel's campaign in Gaza grinds on. And I thought about Trump's Iowa win, and how the Republicans are also getting more delusional as their campaign grinds on. And it occurred to me that we have all been getting more delusional for the past several decades, unwilling or unable to deal with gun violence, the opioid epidemic, or climate crisis, the ongoing pandemic, and the collapse of our ability to govern ourselves. This is what the collapse of our civilization looks like: rising violence, war, and a declining life expectancy. Well, my friends, that'll do it for this week's bad news, and I will be back next week. Be safe, and next week with more bad news.